Okay, hi everybody. We're back again. I cut the last video just a little bit short. I felt like it was going over long. And we only just got to the point where we were beginning to think about making a rip cut. We made a cross cut. Now I'm gonna just again kind of demonstrate for you how you cut with the grain. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and tilt the camera back. I'm gonna show you all the work I've already started doing right here. Okay, let me just adjust my focus so that we're right there. And what you can see is I've already got my clamps in place. You can also see that my big giant log does wobble a little bit. So I have to be a little bit careful as I try to activate my saw that I'm not kind of pulling the entire work surface around. These teeth for the rip cut side of the saw right there, they actually are really quite large. And when you're trying to make a rip cut, they really move your board around. They really pull hard. The crosscut teeth are super sharp and less likely to pull your board around. They're easier to cut with. The rip cut blade, really tough, much more difficult because they're so big and they're also not beveled. So you're kind of tearing the wood out. They're very sharp, but you're kind of tearing the wood out with the rip cut side. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it. You might be able to notice there that alternately the teeth point just a little bit up and down. Okay, so the one kind of goes one direction, the next tooth down goes slightly the opposite, next tooth back the other way. They alternate a little bit like boom, 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 boom. Believe it or not, that alternating shape helps to keep your cut nice and straight. So what we're going to do here is, again, we're going to cut with the grain. This cut was across the grain, exposing the tree rings that we talked about. Now we're going to make a cut with the grain, and you can see I've been kind of playing around with it a little bit here. Now to do this, we're going to set up basically the same way as we did before. Okay, we're going to set the saw up with an angle, something like that. We're not going to pitch it all the way up like this. We're not going to keep it flat like that. We're going to hold it a little bit like that. That angle is as we sort of like cut in, we can kind of like adjust that to a line that we might have drawn on the board, and quickly dig a hole that's going to be that's actually going to be long and have a lot of contact with the broad edge of the saw. So here, because these teeth are so aggressive and so big, I'm going to use both hands on my pull stroke, which is my cutting stroke. So I'm going to start a little bit back like this, and I'm going to make a pretty good and hard pull backwards, like that. And I was quite a bit of pressure I've applied there. Then I can go forward, pull back, forward, forward, pull back, forward, pull back, forward, pull back, forward, pull back. Now I have to be careful not to kind of bind the blade too much. If I do that while I'm cutting, I can break off a tooth. So now that I've got it started, I'm going to cut a little bit more gently. I don't have to fight this cut, you know? I just have to kind of keep it moving gently. If you're feeling a lot of resistance, you might be pulling too hard. Remember, slow is your friend here. Take your time, get a feel for it. And now I'm starting to find a rhythm. Okay? And if I want to, I might have enough power now that I can cut with one hand. Okay? While I hold here. But I'm more comfortable making a rip cut with both hands. It's about finding that magic sweet spot where you're making a good cut with a lot of contact with the blade, and you're moving your blade as straight as you can. You're not trying to fight it. You can see every once in a while I fight it too much and I get caught. If I go nice and easy, I'm good. When I fight it, I get caught. There we go, I found a rhythm. So in pretty short order, I've made a cut, at least at this side, that extends back 3 or 4 inches. if I wanted to just go to that point, I could raise the blade up so that I'm making a nice 90-degree angle cut relative to this surface. So if I've reached a point that came across like this, now I may want to turn the blade end up. I still have lots of good contact on the edge, and just cut my way back like that. Now if I wanted to cut the notch out right here, what I could do is I could go back over to my cross-cut side like this, and I could do a cross-cut back like that and take out that little edge, that little corner. So that's what I'll do. And I'm going to, again, start kind of at a low angle. You can see this is a lot smoother than trying to make a cut with that rip cut. And what I'll do is I'll cut back until I've come in contact with the line that or with the cut that I just made previously. So a little further. Okay, I've come back almost to it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to change my angle, still getting as much contact between the metal and the board as I can. Now I can kind of angle up until gently, slow at the end, so that as I make the cut, I don't tear anything up too badly. And you can see what I've done. There's the cross cut that I just made. The rip cut that I made is right here. And you can see it's a little bit more of a coarse edge. So that is how you differentiate between a rip cut and a cross cut using the Japanese saw. It would be great to sort of practice that a little bit and see if you can get comfortable with it. It takes a little practice getting used to that rip cut blade. You can see even I, when I'm a little out of practice, have to kind of fall into a rhythm. I have to try and find a rhythm. But that's okay. That's what we're here to do. We're here to get comfortable with that type of work.